Young lady. And two young ladies. All right, we'll start with trumpets.
Please welcome the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll. Head coach Dan D'Antoni.
He actually got a personality. I didn't know that.
After a career of win number 50, he will begin with an opening statement and then take questions.
Thought we came out real good, and then started making substitutions. And again, that's going to be a process. And we lost the little momentum we had. I think we got it up to 10 or 15 almost early, and then started making some substitution. I got to try to figure out, which ones will come in and keep it and which ones won't, and that's normal for a young team. I thought all of them contributed. We shot the ball real well. The bench shot it real well. And they did shoot it, but then we would do critical things, just little mistakes when you get it up 12, 14, looks like you're going to get it running. We would do things that would cause them to give them a chance to get them back in the ball game. And we've got to get better at that. I felt like we didn't let the offense or the system run. We were holding on to the ball a little bit. We weren't sure where the next play came. Our pick and rolls weren't sharp. And it's a lot easier game if they let the game come to them and trying to manufacture the game. So we got film and we'll look at it. Like I said, they're easily coached. Had a good crowd, but we got to get better. Everybody's got to get better together, So we need full all hands on deck, all hands on the floor, and let's have a good season.
Thanks, Coach. We will now take questions.
First time you've had to sub John for an extended period of time. I mean, how tough was it for the team to adjust to that for the first time?
Well, I think it slowed the momentum, kind of killed the way we were going at first. But, no doubts later on West will be able to handle it. We just hadn't had him in that position even in practice long enough to really exploit what he does. We're so used to John doing it and then CJ coming out too. So, that's, that's a growth. We're throwing in a true freshman. And again, we're not an overly physical team so that we can dominate people physically. We got a good enough physical team to handle everybody, but we have to play sharp all the time and use what we do best, and that is quick pace, run our system, and hit shots. And I thought we had a quick pace, kind of slowed down when John went out. We'll have to work with West, and I'm sure he'll get it as he goes along. He's got 2 years with John. We'll be adding Rondell, and Rondell's capable of doing it too. So, I'm looking forward to watching the growth of this team. For a new team like the first one I ran into, if y'all remember correctly, I think we lost 15 in a row. And when you get a new team out there, we do have some leadership on the backside. So, at 2-0, I feel pretty good. I'm going to enjoy my sugar pops tonight.
All that said, with John going out and them cutting into the weed, they never did get the weed.
No.
Which that's an important thing.
Well, Wes is a good player. He's going to be a real good player before he's out of here. He just got to understand, his role, how to run it. And our players have to have that feel around him. John's got a hell of a motor, so it's hard to follow him because he's just going all the time and with passes and cutting and moving the ball up the floor and pushing into the defense all the time. But Wes probably won't do it exactly like John, but I've had a bunch of different teams, and there's the biggest thing is not one way being the right way. It's the right way for John. Little Jared might have a little different way, and we just haven't had a chance to, mold people around the way he would play. But and he'll have to adapt a little bit to the way John plays for a couple of years, and then things change. We get a little bit different personality, but you'll see we'll be up in the 80s and 90s and the 100s.
Just
just did enough things wrong to keep it close.
Well, if you looked at it, we stepped in on a free throw, and ball goes right back to them. They get an extra bucket. We hit a three, then they blow right by our press, and that's one, a couple people not sitting down. They go right in for a layup. So you hit a three, take it up 12, boom, it's back to 10. Should have been 13 or go up to 13, and then a couple stops, jumps out, and then all of a sudden the game changes. There's not it's a real fine line between a solid win, which is basically a solid win, and then having a blowout. And to have a blowout, you gotta put a run on them where they quit. They just don't have the same intensity. We never got to that level because we would make a mistake here or there. I didn't like the way we pressured defensively. I thought we were kind of hanging out instead of putting heat on the players and the balls. We got to play harder. They got to understand they got to stay focused. It looks like we're playing harder, but I guarantee when I get on the field, I'm going to see a lot of non-aggressive plays off of our defense. Although we did hold them to 40%, and what was their three-point shooting?
40%.
40. It's too much on the three-point. That thing's got to be down around 30. So we need to take 4 or 5 shots away that we pressured and that we didn't do. So, again, I think the good thing about a team like we have here at Marshall, and have had, is if you look at them, they always get better. And the reason they get better is they're coachable. They're great kids who will come and work hard, see what we got to do, and get better. And where that takes us, again, will be bounce of a ball, referee call, us hitting the right shot at the right time, them missing the right shot at the right time. And we're going to be competitive. It's going to be tough to win here when you come in here.
Had to be happy with the big jump in bench scoring tonight over Friday night, obviously.
Well, yeah, again, I knew that. They do it in practice every day, It's just most of that, them being successful, is me trying to figure out how to use them and who to use them with on the floor. And, sometimes you hit it right. Sometimes you have to work your way through the season. In fact, most of the time, you have to work your way through the season to get that right when you have a bunch of new kids. Sometimes you get it right, right off the bat, and it's easy, but that happens a few times, but most of the time you have to work your way through it.
Coach, first road trip coming up for you guys, two places that aren't easy to play. How do you feel like the newcomers will sort of respond to that?
They'll get on the bus and ride with us. I don't know. I have no idea how they'll respond. I guess they'll go out and play. It's I'm not a magician. When you ask me a question like that, I don't know. I'm just like you. I'm just like the next fan. I don't know. But I do trust them to give me their best shots. And they'll go out and compete. And then where that takes us, we'll find out. That's the fun part of a season. That's what's great about having a team that will compete. You always got a chance. Not sure where it's going to go. We're not, like I said, we're not overly physical team. If we were sitting out there and had a couple guys who are physical and bigger, then it's a little easier as far as predicting what's going to happen because you control certain areas. But I thought Penova did a nice job on their, what was it, 12? Did a nice job on him. They turned him baseline. He was under 50% from inside, which is pretty good. Because if, that means all we have to do is shoot around 40%, and then we tag him pretty good from threes. So I think he was under 50. We were at 40, so he needs to shoot 65% to beat us. And that didn't happen. We held him down under there. I thought Penova did a pretty nice job on the boards. He's given us 2 solid games. CJ's coming through like we expected him to, and John's John. So, we got 3 solid players that played 2 good games and done what they're supposed to do. And then the rest of it's going to be me just finding that combination. I thought Field played real well off the bench. Thought he did a nice job. West will grow into his role. Jansen had a couple nice shots and a nice rebound put back. Got to work on his defense, get him down to where he doesn't just get blow-bys. Christian hit a shot, again, most of those guys are learning the angles defensively. It's not so much offense. It's defensively and not making critical mistakes. The biggest one being jumping into a shooter. He did that about 3 or 4 times. And you can't do that. At this level, you can't make those type of mistakes unless you are a dominant team. We're not a dominant team, but we are a team that can beat a dominant team. And that gives us hope, gives Marshall a chance to push, and we play the right game at the right time. Could be real happy with this ball club at the end of the year.
That'll do it.
Is that it?
Thanks,
All
guys.
right, thanks.